Going on, guys? Saver Sauce here. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be explaining to you how you can break into data science and machine learning in the best way possible. So this works if you don't have any programming knowledge. It definitely helps to have some programming knowledge for this, but as you'll see, I'm going to show you some great learning resources that can kind of break you in and get you all the help you need. So today we're going to be talking about Kaggle, and I want to explain to you kind of the learning roadmap for getting into data science with Kaggle. So just to start out, you're going to want to make a Kaggle account. So I don't really have access to what the Kaggle account thing looks like, but if you go to kaggle.com, you're not going to see what I'm seeing here. You're going to see a little bit different, and it's going to say make an account essentially, and you just have to make an account. You don't have to put much down. It's just to be there so that you can have a way to get into the site. So the best way to get started in Kaggle is to use the Kaggle Learn courses. As you can see, it literally has an intro to programming and the Python course. So if you're interested, this is the best places to start. I'd recommend with starting at intro to programming and then moving on to Python. They kind of teach you everything in the same frame that you need to know it. So they'll teach you all the things you need for data science and intro to programming, and then they'll teach you all the different, use cases for Python. They're very simple. It doesn't take long. As you can see, they pare them down into the practical components, and it's no cost. They're all completely free, every single course. You can see I've done a lot of them because they're really, really helpful. There's a lot, so many courses, and they're all just really, really good. So this is where I'd recommend to start out. You can see they've got some guides here. These aren't actually made by Kaggle, they're made by the community. And if you go into one, you can see they've just kind of got, a bunch of different learning resources. So even if you're trying to get information outside of Kaggle, this is still the best place to start. Moving on now, we're going to go back to the home page. So this is Kaggle's competitions. And this is probably the best part about Kaggle right now, is they've got all of these. Now, if you're just starting out in data science, I don't really recommend you get into this sort of thing, instantaneously, because you're going to have a really tough time. But you can see that the learning progression on Kaggle really starts to speed up. I mean, they've even got cash prizes for a lot of these different competitions. And, this is a way that a lot of people get recognized in the community in data science. Just because, there's so many options, you can really show off what you know. And you don't have to learn everything on Kaggle. You can get all kinds of learning resources outside of Kaggle, but it's pretty useful to just start out here. So moving on now into datasets. When you're starting out, this is another great tab to look at because you can see they've got lots of different options. I mean, people make their own data sets. You can see I've made some data sets as well. It's just extremely useful to make data sets because that's one step in a data scientist toolbox, is just making their own data. There's no guarantee in the field you're going to have your own data, so it's really important that you know how to make your own and manipulate it especially. And that's where this code comes in. So if we go into any of these, say, real estate sales data, you can see there's a tab here called code, and people just go into this and they manipulate the data and try and extract insights from it. And that's one step of a data scientist's job. Even if you're in machine learning, you have to know how to extract insights from data. So if you go into this guy, I don't know who he is, but he just took the data and he just did whatever he wanted to it. You can see it's called exploratory data analysis. That's because you're exploring the data. You can see he's got lots of nice looking graphs here just to show off all this different, experience. If you're looking to get a job, this is a great way to show off your skills. And yeah, that's just another way I'd recommend. So moving on now, we're going to skip past the models tab. We're going to go straight to code. So code is where people post their machine learning works. So for example, this is a Dogecoin historical price data, lung cancer, Elon Musk tweets. On to our last step here is the discussions tab. So there's lots of different areas here. As you can see, you can host your own competitions, but I'm not going to go into it because, you know, most beginners probably don't want to worry about that. The general tab is a little bit, you know, there's a lot of good things in here. There's a lot of people, you know, talking about how they're, you know, reaching top 200 in discussions, and that's not as important. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of people that write some very good articles here. For example, this one looks pretty interesting. Data science versus decision science. This is probably a very interesting article. I'm not going to go into it right now. But it's very useful to just look around in here. I would say a better place to look for beginners, of course, is going to be the Getting Started tab. As you can see, they've got a lot of advice. A lot of more experienced people in the community have put in a lot of advice for helping to learn data science. So yeah, I'd recommend this, you know, 10 out of 10. This is a great way to get started. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button, and then make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I'll be posting a lot more to help people get into data science and machine learning. So that's about it, guys. I'll see you next time.